Getting up on the roof at the Palmer's house off of Camphor Street in Lakeland. I decided to shoot a quick video for the parents and for Jennifer. That way you get to hear and see everything that I did when I was up on the roof today. Before I even get off the ladder, there was a few notes that I made. We will replace any of the rotted fascia that we find, and I'm not necessarily saying that this is rotted, but it's possible that we might cut this back a foot and replace some of the fascia as needed. That's really the only expense I haven't already accounted for. On page 2 of the estimate, it talks about every type of wood literally on the planet, how much it would cost to replace it, and this is like $7 a foot. That's for the wood and for the labor involved. We could talk more about that. The next thing that I noticed before even getting off the roof was I didn't see any ventilation. So we're going to talk about that in a second as well too. So I really do think that this house really does beg for better, proper ventilation. The other thing I noticed is you can even see the corners of the shingles starting to lift up. They're becoming very dry. So when the chemical properties inside the asphalt shingles start to leach out, the shingles start to become extraordinarily brittle, just like saltine crackers. And that is exactly what's starting to happen now with the shingles. So although I give your roof very high marks for its age, I think it's probably a sooner rather than later proposition to get the roof replaced. So then I noticed you have only two off ridge vents. These things, they're not so good because it's literally a 4-foot, 4-inch wide open window into your attic during hurricanes. So anytime that we see these, we always get rid of those, and we go with the low profile. Let's see if I can find one. No, not really. There is one way over there. The low profile shingles on top attic ridge vent. So all that's going to be vent, that's going to be vent, all that's going to be vent as well too. And we're going to restore the wood that's not under there, restore those areas. My next question is, I know in downtown people have access to gas utilities. If you have a gas furnace or fireplace, that's fine, we can leave that. But a lot of times, if the gas isn't being used anymore, we can get rid of that. So just let me know. It would be a great thing to get rid of if it's not being used. If it's being used, perfect, it's fine. Probably, you probably saw my codes over there. That's for the venting. And then the last but greatest thing to talk about is the flat roof. Actually, I just got off a FaceTime call with my area manager. I wanted to get his second opinion too. And thankfully he agreed with me. You do not need the very expensive glorified insulation board called tapered iso board that adds extra slope to the roof. So we walked this, I showed him via live, and he agreed that there's plenty of pitch and you can see where the water is draining properly off to the corner there. So that is a great thing. Enormous. I mean, probably about $3,000 difference between adding and not needing it. And of course, since that's not connected, we'll get rid of that as well too. This is going to be a 3-layer flat roof system. The only thing we haven't talked about is, well, let's talk about real quick how we're going to redo your roof correctly for you. We're going to remove all the shingles, get down to the bare plywood roof. Anything remotely bad with the plywood, we're going to replace. I've already included 2 full sheets with your estimate. That's just to get things started. I think your roof's in very good condition, but you know, just like with the fascia, let's just back pocket the idea of another sheet of plywood as well. And then 2 codes that have been upgraded in the last couple of years. The first one says re-nail the plywood to the roof trusses. The code used to be every 12 inches. Now it's 6, but we go every 4 to 5 inches. We're gonna double, triple the number of nails holding your plywood to your roof trusses. And then the big one is called waterproof barrier. You probably heard of peel and stick, or at least here in Florida. Up in Ohio, it's called ice and water shield. But we're gonna cover every inch of your bare plywood roof with this super sticky rubberized waterproof membrane in the event of well, it's not a question of if, but when, a hurricane, a tropical storm. Even if you did, God forbid, lose a shingle or 2, you're still not gonna get water inside the house. That's what's so important about the waterproof barrier. And then on top of that, we're gonna put your Owens Corning 30+ year architectural shingle. Of course, you get to pick whatever color you want. I'll talk to Jen about that as well too. And that's a pretty good overview. Collis is a local company. It's a family-run company. It's been here in Central Florida for 25 years. Now, it's a family company, but it has gotten bigger over the last couple generations. That just means that we're obviously doing something right. So I'll just leave this brief and then get down and talk more with Jennifer. Thanks.